Are you gonna let me record? You were a pill. That is mine. I need it. Be nice. Wow. Hi everyone. Welcome or welcome back to Novel Idea. My name is Dia. The little idiot running around is Poppy. This is Poppy. And she's gonna let me record a video. We hope. So I have another weekly wrap up for you. That's what this is gonna be. I have just not been finding the time or the space or the quiet to be able to do other videos. And I have several that I would really love to do, but I just haven't found the capacity to be able to do them. So I'm really sorry, but I am here with a little wrap up and a funny little whatever that's doing. And I am going to just try to tell you about what I have read recently. So let's get into it. All right. So I am finishing up my reading for Victober. I am in the middle of Over to Candleford. I'm reading this with Stephanie from Ms. Richards Reads. And so we just got into the second book in this today. Just began. Poppy, go lie down. Lie down and be a good girl. Yeah. And then I'm almost finished with Aurora, Leigh by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. So what I have managed to finish up since I last was here to tell you about my reads, I was telling you about Old Wives' Tale. And this is about two sisters who grow up with the same values, the same set of parents in the same small town, not very many years apart. And they become two completely different people. But in their old age, they have both become widows of a sort, and they have made their own way in life. And it just is kind of the buildup to them becoming, entering into that widowhood, and then what that looks like for their lives. I really didn't enjoy Old Wives' Tale at all. Overall, I found it very plodding. No, she really wants this ball, you guys. It's no, not right now, not right now, no. I don't know if I'm gonna get to do this today or not. This is what I'm talking about. So I owned Arnold Bennett's Anna of the Five Towns. And so after I got done with the library book of Old Wives' Tale, I went ahead and read Anna of the Five Towns. I wanted to find out if I was gonna be as bored. I did like Anna of the Five Towns. So Anna of the Five Towns, again, is about a set of sisters, but it's mainly about the older sister. She is pious. She wants to do good. She wants to love people well. And she's trying with all her might to get away from her father, who is emotionally abusive. There's no physical abuse, but emotionally, verbally abusive to both of his girls. And so Anna really wants to find somebody to help her get away from her father, as she finds out that she has quite a lot of money herself. I liked it so much more. The main character, Anna, I felt much more connected to than I did to either one of the sisters in the other book, in Old Wives' Tale. I just really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a wonderful story. I can see why it's his most popular book. And I'm really glad that I own Anna of the Five Towns because it's the one that I enjoyed the most. Then I read a couple of cozy mysteries. I read Death by a Thousand Sips, which was the continuation of the cozy mystery series that I started in the last wrap-up. Also, one that I really enjoyed, though I will say that the relationship aspect in this one ramped up a little bit. They are people that have known each other for most of their lives. Typical cozy mystery, move back to a place where you were as a child and start up some cute cozy business and get wrapped up in a murder mystery and also find yourself with an adorable pet of some sort. So it was still really good, and I'm still enjoying the series. But now that the relationship is kind of kicked off, I'm not sure how it's gonna go from here. Next cozy mystery that I read was called A Treacherous Tale. This is one of the best stories that I have read cozy mystery-wise in a very long time. I loved the way this was written. It was more suspenseful than a lot of cozy mysteries. I really liked this one. It is by the author Elizabeth Penney. It's actually book 2 of the Cambridge Bookshop Cozy Mystery series, and I have not read book 1, so it's just fine to jump in to it at this point. It is about our main character, Molly. She has moved to England from America to help out her aunt with a bookstore. And her mother has moved with her because her father has passed away. In doing this, her mother is kind of reconnecting with where she grew up in England. And there is an author who is putting out an anniversary edition of a very popular children's book, and it has a very fairy tale-esque quality to it. It's a story within a story where you're reading a book, but then it's also telling you the story that is helping you unravel the mystery. I really, really liked this one. Next cozy mystery that I finished was Hemmings Homicide. And this one was about a granddaughter and grandmother who were opening up a new storefront in Maine. It's kind of a retro linens and aprons and that kind of thing shop. And she creates them from vintage fabrics as well as having actual vintage things in the shop to sell as well. And they're just opening up their storefront. And of course, somebody dies and it's connected to her grandfather and grandmother's past within this community. and she gets to kind of be an archaeologist with her family and with her community, and find some things out as she opens this storefront that has been closed for a very, very long time. Hemmings and Homicide is also an Elizabeth Penney, and I, again, have not read any but this one, but I really enjoyed it. Then another one for Victober was Rikki, Tikki, Tavi by Rudyard Kipling. And Rikki, Tikki, Tavi, if you don't know, is the story of a white family living in India, and they have just moved into this bungalow with this beautiful garden, and there is a flood, and the flood washes up a mongoose into their garden, onto their property. And they find him and they take him in and warm him up and feed him, and he becomes the protector of their family, because in India there are many dangerous snakes, and mongooses are known to be the killer of snakes. And the way that Rudyard Kipling writes Rikki Tikki's personality, and the way that he is with the people and with the other animals, is absolutely enchanting. I love this story. It's one of my favorite Rudyard Kipling stories, and I just really enjoyed revisiting this story. One other book, and this one is going to take a little bit to try to describe to you. It was called The Spear Cuts Through Water. It's by Simon Jimenez, and it's one that I've been waiting to read for a very long time. There was a lot that I enjoyed about this book, and there were some things I didn't enjoy about it. It has a little bit of an imperial China, Asia kind of tone to it. Almost 600 pages, I'm sorry. So 545 pages is how many pages it is. And it's set up as if a young boy in modern day is being told a story by his grandmother. It's a story of epic proportions, and she warns him that it's a true story, and that one day he will be caught up in the alternate time where he is going to need to sit and listen and really pay attention to what is going on in this alternate time, and that he is going to be part of the answer for things that are wrong in the world. He gets kind of sucked back into this place that is in this time warp area section, and he is in a theater. And the way that the book is told is that it is told almost like a Greek play, in that there are a chorus of voices. So as somebody is mentioned in the play that is going on in this theater that the boy is watching, there will be that voice will come in and talk to the reader about what was just said about them. So it's a constant switching of voices, and it's hard to follow if you don't pay attention and realize that that is what's going on. That if it says the mother of this young child just, you know, was fallen under the foot of horses or something like that, she will turn to the audience and begin to talk. And she will tell you of the great pain of not being able to save her child, of trying to run away from the men, not understanding why it was that she was being trampled. All of these kinds of things kind of come into the story continually, which is one of the reasons why this story takes so long to tell. So the two main characters are men, boys, in the story, and they are trying to get from one place to another. So it's an adventure, and they are trying to take this artifact of great power from this place to the other, and it's important that it get to a certain warrior and fulfill a promise. It's a very unique way to tell a story. I was gripped at the beginning of this book. Where it loses me is in the adventure. It takes so long, and I don't see a lot of reason for the way that things happen on the adventure for those things to be mentioned in the story. There are several characters that I'm not sure why they were ever introduced. It's almost as if the story is afraid to commit to being a certain type of story, because it feels like several different things. It feels a little bit sci-fi because we've got the time warpy difference thing. It feels a little bit fantasy because there's magic and there's like telepathy, and there's a special powerful artifact. And so there are certain things that feel like it's a fantasy novel, and it's quite literary in the fact that it feels like a play. And so there are all these different moving pieces and parts, and it doesn't feel like it wants to put a ring on it. The way that Jimenez tells this story, it kind of keeps the reader at arm's length. It doesn't allow you to really fall in love with the characters. It doesn't allow you to immerse yourself in the story because of the fact that it is constantly shifting. So let me just say that I overall thought that this was good. The things that were hard for me in this were a few things. One was that it's quite grotesque, and that was hard to take. Once in a while there was some language, but it was not continual. It wasn't constant, but I would have rather that it wouldn't have been there at all. Another thing that pulled me kind of in and out of the story was the relationship that was not clear-cut with our two, with our two main characters. It becomes almost a thing of, do they love one another? Is there more of a relationship here than what is being expressed? I think, though, what I really liked about this book was that there is this kind of effervescence, this sparkling kind of warmth about it, but the grotesqueness and the brutality and the length of the adventure is basically what kept it from being an absolutely wonderful read. I hope that some of that made sense. So I am still reading Nicholas Nickleby. I am still reading Aurora Leigh, and like I said, just started over to Candleford. Then I have City of Thieves, and I will be starting that with Shelley this weekend from Shelley Swearingen. And City of Thieves is David Benioff, I think, is the author. That is kind of the way that I'm going to finish off my October probably. I have a few other reads. I'm reading Making It So by Patrick Stewart. Really, really enjoying it. It's really good so far. Also, I have, what do I have? I have Wayward from the library that I would like to read this month. So I have things that I can kind of fill in with and figure out if I want to read them or not. I'll be back really soon with pile for November. I have a few that are buddy reads, and then I have just ones that are possibilities for nonfiction November. So I'll be back with those really soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you got something out of these book reviews, because I don't know how clear I was, because honestly, A Spear Cuts Through Water is a hard book to explain. It's just hard to explain. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to, and I will see you again very soon, everyone. Bye-bye.